To do her like that. Right? A happy full stomach. Alrighty. 6:15. Call this meeting. Let's go ahead and move down to number 2, public comment. I see we have a larger crowd than usual. Anybody have anything to say?
This is your chance.
Hi, I'm new to here. My name is Alita Dobbs Farmer. I'm a resident of Villa. Yes, Alita Farmer.
A-L-I-D-A?
A-L-E-T-A. And I'm a resident of Villa Rica, Georgia, of course. Representing my father at 216 Anderson Road, Villa Rica. Just coming in just to see what this meeting is about. Trying to get more involved into the city. And just trying to understand how things come about being developed. So, nice day.
Well, welcome. We like you have we like anybody from the community honestly being here. And well, our meetings are mainly about downtown and what we can do to improve downtown and the development and just getting a crowd and everything into downtown. So, welcome. Okay, anybody else? No? All right. So we'll go ahead and move down to number 3 for June 2024 financial report with the treasurer, Michael Rickman.
Yes, not much has changed. The current checking, $35,364.32. Petty cash, $17.45. There's still that floating debt to the city for $49,000. I believe the only transaction that's happened since last time was the supplies. That was, I guess, a check was written for that. In the amount of $158, I believe. So that's really the only change, I guess, financially. And yeah, that's the only real expenditure last month. So not much change there.
Okay. Any comments on that? No? Good. All right, we'll go ahead and move down to number 4 for the approval of the June minutes with Secretary Ms. Barbara Daniel.
I had one correction to that. On public comments, that was Doug Lang, L-A-N-G.
I can't hear what you say.
Oh,
Doug Lane.
Sorry.
On the public comments.
Yeah, on public comments, I don't know how much this matters, but I know instead of Doug Lane, L-A-N-E, it was L-A-N-G.
L-A-N-G?
Yes, ma'am. And then I don't know how official this stuff needs to be, but I know he's over on South Carroll Road.
South Carroll. Thank you for that. Did you get that, Ms. Barbara? You got that? Okay. Okay, other than that, do I have a motion to approve the minutes or any other changes?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Michael
Michael.
and Brandon. Okay. Number 5, downtown updates. Me?
You had, one to talk about before you had this on the Main Street Road on Friday. The Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
Talk about that.
Yes.
Like you had something else.
Well, no, I mean, pretty much what we talked about, just to update everybody here, we discussed, you know, as we discussed too, I had mentioned about doing like the Cinco de Mayo bash for next year. So the Main Street board is going to take that on. So I'm pretty excited for that. It's pretty much just like getting all of the Mexican restaurants that we already have in Villa Rica and bringing it to use, you know, making a big bash for Cinco de Mayo so the community of Villa Rica can get together. We can just have like a little party and take advantage of our amphitheater that we have and use like everything that we have to the best of ability. So I feel like when it's a beautiful weather and all that, we should be definitely taking advantage of our amphitheater. So to me, a Cinco de Mayo bash, everybody enjoys a good margarita, a good taco, a good party, music, events for the kids. So that was my biggest thing, and I'm pretty excited for that to be coming in. I know there's still work that has to be done for that, but it looks like we're heading in the right direction for that. So I'm pretty excited, and I hope the city of Villa Rica will be excited for it as well. So just some changes, but to get everybody and to get the community together.
Michael, did you want to give any updates on what you're working for?
Yeah, absolutely. So like downtown news, I know the design committee that we met with, there was conversations about alleyway projects and things. So I think that, you know, whether the DDA can help out in any way with the Main Street and kind of facilitating some of that, I think that's a great kickstart to like new potential projects in the next however many months, just to establish some kind of effort to update the alleyways and beautify them in a way that makes it a little bit better for pedestrians, but also, you know, walkability and stuff. But also, we met with the city with regards to Prospector Park, and the initial sketches of just a real simple kind of outdoor space that is a little more functional, and it draws people in, more of a destination versus people just kind of walking by and nobody really sitting there. It doesn't really serve a purpose right now. City manager Jeff Reese gave us the green light to develop it further. So it has the gold miner statue is kind of the piece in the middle there. We're also bringing back the bricks that were sold previously that had names as part of fundraising many years ago that the project never came to fruition. So the goal is to honor the investment from those folks and actually use those bricks, but also I think it would be a great opportunity to raise funds to put more bricks there and let the new citizens kind of invest in the community as well. So it has that brick in there. There's a historical aspect to it. There's nothing that like a historical walk in Villa Rica, so we're trying to integrate some kind of cool little historical destination that you can learn more about things that you maybe didn't know. And then city manager Jeff Reese had a suggestion to involve some kind of veterans side of it too. So we're going to try and put some kind of a flag and some kind of veterans piece to that. We're developing that and going to get new renderings and new engineers on board. There's a civil component to it. So we got the green light to develop that further, and it's going to be a bit of a flexible space, but it's going to be protected. So if kids or parents with small kids can come in, it will be fenced in total. They can let them play around, and there might be a slide as part of it. Just a cool space to be in, not so much just plastic playgrounds. We don't want that. You need something that's a little bit better than that. So we hope to have some updates, and once we get some new renderings and everything, we'll gladly share them with everybody to kind of see what that's looking like.
And Melissa and I met with Brian Dill, the president of Carroll Tomorrow, Carroll County Chamber of Commerce, the new project manager, and Joseph, I can't remember his last name. I think he's business, what? Okay, he's business development, and they are really working for the city of Villa Rica, really excited about it. Working on a business to come into the Old Charlie spot, the public spot. And I know you and Dale, the chair of the Villa Rica Development Authority, are supposed to get together because they really want DDA to spearhead the Uncourt building. Perhaps Gabe's coming back in there, trying to find some available funding for them. So they're working on all that. But I was really excited to hear what they are doing for Villa Rica for a change. So. You know, the Development Authority really, Dale, they really don't work in the downtown area. But he got kind of involved in it. But really, this is a DDA project. So that you two need to get, yes. Yeah, they want to.
I did reach out, but no reply back yet as of now. But I did reach out. I couldn't leave a message, so I didn't leave a message. Yeah. But I did reach out, and I sent a text as well. So hopefully he gets back to me.
Yeah, so they're working on some things for us. outside with the TAD and Fucal development, but also, helping us with that Uncourt building. And we talked about, I don't know what all we talked about, but it was just good to hear that they've got Villa Rica on their radar for a change.
Yeah.
We can
It's finally
thank the
good to
mayor for
be.
that, So there's a lot of us working. A lot of us are just really fired up and ready to go, especially in our downtown area.
I do want to state this and take a minute, I guess, to thank the changes that are going on, because in this short period, I've seen a lot more getting done right now. And I feel like as a group of the people we have here, I think we're doing a really good job on trying to get everything up to date and coming back and staying with it and trying to get updates, because like I have my little list of all the stuff that we've been talking about in these past couple of years, and it's very little of these things that have actually taken place to so finally see a lot of this get started. It's exciting because we're actually starting to see, even though it's baby changes, we're starting to see these changes in Villa Rica. So it's exciting, and I hope the city's as excited as I am.
Yes.
And I want to thank you guys as
A lot of
well.
our citizens don't see
Yes.
it yet, but they just need to hear a little bit what we're working on. It's such a long process to
It
get
is.
some of this done, especially if you're dealing with GDOT or Norfolk Southern, who owns all this property up to
Yes.
the door, front of the door of the
I feel like we're
business.
holding our pressure pretty good now.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
It's really exciting to hear some of this coming together finally.
I also remember what we talked about at the Main Street. I did have a suggestion. I don't know if this is something that we'll discuss right now, but as far as like the grants and the grants that we do approve, is there anything that we can do to make it to where it's only up and functioning businesses and not businesses that are coming in that haven't opened? I don't know the legalities of that, but I feel like when we're investing in a business, it should be a business that's bringing back to us as well, because
Okay.
we've approved grants, and I haven't seen anything happen to these buildings that we've approved a grant for.
Actually, the facade, there's been
Right.
facade improvements.
It's the
yeah.
facade ones, but like I haven't seen much more going into these buildings.
Yeah.
So that's like money that we invested, but it's just a standstill, and it's not coming back to the DDA or to the city in any way to me as of now, when we have open and functioning businesses that may need the facade grants as well, or that don't even know about them, but
Yeah.
they're not getting this opportunity.
Well, most of, all those properties are not owned by the
Right.
businesses. They're owned by like two
Yeah.
people.
Which is true. Yes.
But you do see a lot of facade exterior improvements down here at the James Building.
I'm sorry, Ms. Elisa. I don't know. Do we answer questions right now from?
No.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I know I saw you guys
That's-
putting
I
up your
guess
hands, so
that's
I just
up to
I didn't
you.
want to think that I was ignoring you guys.
Well, one suggestion is, I know maybe what we do is, even if they're not a business that's up and running yet, is that they put the money in, and then once they are up and running, we would reimburse them for that much of the facade grant.
Yes.
That way we know that what they say is going to get done gets done. It's just kind of like a 1-2 step thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we've noticed is that some of those grant, I guess some of it needs to be rewritten probably, and better details and explanations for what they're going to be approved for versus there's a lot of, I think, loopholes in some of them that probably we need to probably look through them, go back over, and maybe rewrite some of them so that it's very specific as to what the grants are allowed for versus what they aren't. So that
Right.
moving forward, there's not going to be any issues if they are declined for some reason, that we feel that it's, maybe
Fair
not in the best
cross.
interest.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my biggest thing. I just want it to be even across the board. Yes. So if you're up and running, or if you have ideas, because I'm not trying to shut anybody down who's trying to open, but there should be like a certain time period from when you applied for the grant and if you get approved for these changes and everything to happen. Because I know the checks do get made out to the company who's doing the work, but again, I feel like with all these empty buildings that we do have and we're trying to get filled, there needs to be action done towards these buildings as far as cleaning them up, how we talk about beautifying. We want people, the community, to come out and walk, but if we have empty buildings or just dirty buildings where they could be like pressure washed or stuff like that, just we want it to be appealing to the community. And right now a lot of the things aren't appealing, and I don't see anything happening as of now to make them, like, besides from what the city is doing, the beautification. But I feel like the landlord should be like how when residential ones, they get the citation if your grass is overgrown. Same thing for the building, for the front view of the building. They should be cited. Yeah, you know, we want to, I mean, I understand it's historical, but you can be historical and beautiful. Yes.
And is there other grants available for, we come into contact with a lot of potential restaurants that want to come down here, but there are no, I guess,
Incentives.
building owners that are wanting to put in a kitchen hood or a grease interceptor. Are there grants that we could fund portions of that if the
Yeah.
owner's willing to invest in some of that?
There's a DDA revolving loan up to $250,000 to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs. There's historic tax credits out there that are kind of difficult to move through. The only thing that we have with Main Street and DDA, and most cities that I'm checking on are down to only a facade grant.
Okay.
We actually have a boost grant where they can buy a piece of equipment, and most of the cities around here do not have that. They're down to the facade. We have the facade up to $5,000, which is the DDA. We have the Main Street exterior up to $2,500. That's the only funding we've got in Main Street and DDA, but we can certainly get with the community affairs and get with them and see what kind of funding's out there.
Okay, yeah, because at the same time, it's great that we can do these facade grants and stuff, but on the other hand, we've got to get some revenue in our account to be able to distribute that. So I want to try and see if there's funding available in any way, if there's grants, if there's ways that we can start to submit anything to really establish a larger financial chunk of cash to be able to do things and inject into the community a little bit faster too.
And this is really like throwing it out there, but I don't know if any of you guys watch HGTV and the little program where they have like the small town like rebuild or redo where you apply pretty much why is our town. I feel like that would be something neat for us to do.
Yeah.
Michael, if you could get some,
Well,
you
we
know,
did
like
this
a small
a
video we
few
could
years
get
ago
to
that
where
went
our
down.
town.
Yeah.
We
actually did.
We did apply for one of those hometown
Did you see that?
things, but
I remember
Yeah.
that from a
but
while
the
back,
city
right?
that got hit by a tornado was chosen.
Yeah, which makes more
Which
sense.
makes sense. But that, this,
You know, a couple years have passed since then, so I feel like we should give it another go around. Chip and Joanne could come down here; it'd be amazing. But
But I mean, I would encourage all of us to kind of do some research, and
Yeah.
if there's ways or something we can
looking into
invest in,
that.
and then that would be great to find
Yes.
ways. Yeah.
I have a couple of people have spoke to me about the Beltline. If we're ever gonna do like what was gonna be the Nugget Trail, I prefer the Gold Belt, but something for us to run and the path. I have some people that said if we need sponsors or some sort of, like, for them to pitch in, they'd be willing to pitch in. But I told them that I would get back to them as when we have more information about that. And I know you and I had talked about that a little bit more.
Yep, yesterday, actually, I had a conversation with, there's several folks that have expressed interest in volunteering for that. That's the only way to get it going is you establish these group of volunteers and channel it through, I think, Carroll, and there was a nonprofit in Carrollton that's the way the Greenbelt was able to do it. So if we were to do the gold, we're just calling it the Gold Line right
Yeah,
now.
I'm calling it the
Gold
Gold
Nugget's a little weird, so we're
Yeah,
sticking
for
with
me,
Gold
it's the
Line.
Gold Belt.
Yeah, but we thought about in the fall here kicking this off with those group of volunteers. So what that means, we don't know, but I can't do it. I was getting a group together and seeing. So if you know anybody that it makes a lot of sense, there's a civil engineer that's going to volunteer his time. There is a graphics student at Villa Rica High School that also expressed interest. You know, I think a real estate person on that panel would be great, and Tracy Ivy with the rec department was going to volunteer for it. So getting however many people and whoever makes the most sense to start a conversation of how to spearhead that, I think, would be the kickoff for it. But it hasn't kicked off yet, so.
Okay. Well, I will keep doing my part on that.
Back to the buildings downtown. I know we hear this term grandfather clause, et cetera, et cetera. What about the building authority, code enforcement, fire? Do they have ways of enforcing this to find out?
I've had numerous conversations and got nowhere. So maybe I'm turning it over to Diana. They just said that it's private property, but I didn't really get anywhere with it, the formal administration, but maybe Diana can work on that for us.
Okay. Sounds like we need to pull out the book and see what's available
Well,
for all these
actually,
agencies.
I did work with the city attorney, and there is not an ordinance, I forgot what it's called, to keep the front storefronts clean or attractive. It's not in our ordinances, and